Okay, continuing on with the evacuation mission, hard difficulty, all the achievements, StarCraft 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm building my second bunker for the protecting the first, the farther bunker. So at this point, I've got 2 bunkers at each of the spots that came with a bunker.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 SCVs at each of those bunkers.
Okay.
And I'm going to fill them up with Marines and continue working on an army that's going to follow this minivan.
Minivan Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, I did purchase the stim packs for Marines, and stim packs are super effective when you've got the medics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way stim packs work, they attack, I think, 50% faster.
Mm-hmm. And run 50%
and
faster.
And move 50% faster.
So it's like having 1.5 times the amount of dudes
at
for
a cost
10
of
seconds.
10 health.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have medics that heal them, then it's...
almost no cost as long as they don't get killed.
Right.
So I'm going to put a missile turret by each of these bunker setups.
Yeah, one thing I almost got this achievement for not losing any buildings on my own, but I kind of boxed myself in, and I couldn't, typically the Terran strategy is to close off ramps, to completely box in a base, so people have to destroy the buildings at the top of a ramp to get by, and but it goes 2 ways because I accidentally boxed complete access off to one of the turrets, I think.
Oh, and you couldn't repair it?
I couldn't repair it.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess be careful of that. Make sure you can repair everything. So once you have the 2 bunkers set up on the lower one with the missile turret and the 2 SCVs, you basically don't have to worry about that one until the end when the Nidus worms show up. So you can just not worry about that one. The upper one is a little higher risk.
I put 2 bunkers and a couple of missile turrets on this little side road too.
See, I wouldn't put the structures there because it's not worth the risk.
Well,
of getting them destroyed if you're trying to get the achievement.
You get 2 bunkers there, you get 2 missile turrets and 2 FCVs just waiting to repair. You have a much better chance of getting that achievement plus the one for not losing any vehicles.
I don't think protecting the vehicles is difficult at all. So I'd rather just have a mobile army.
Well, it gets to the point where you have plenty of money to do whatever you want, really.
Okay, so moving... So I had a pretty big force going with that convoy. I'm building another force, and now I'm moving this one into go get the last research item. So just kind of stay to the left here. There's a base up there to the right that you don't really need to piss off. And then there's the last research item.
Yes. Some of the Zerg bases on this are very strong. They have quite a few spine crawlers. A lot of dudes if you actually go into the base, and you can really do a lot of damage to yourself if you go into their bases and try to take out a hatchery or something like that, which I did when I was playing on normal when I was just bored.
Yeah. So I'm building, I guess, a 3rd bunker at this spot since it's the most fragile, and that army that I picked up that last Zerg research is now up there.
We have another convoy ready to be escorted, Commander.
After you get that Zerg research, you can keep going down, and there's quite a few mineral and gas pallets if you're in need, but at this point I'm pretty well off and not too worried about it.
And you just research the weapon upgrades.
Yep.
And the armor upgrades.
Yep. So yeah, definitely do that if, once you start,
Now, do you know how armor works in this game?
Why don't you explain it?
Okay. Well, basically, you should do a video on this because it took me a while and just some basic experimentation to figure it out. And I'm not 100% sure it's right, but the way it appeared to me is that let's say a Marine does 8 damage, something like that.
Okay.
And then they shoot something that has 1 armor.
Mm-hmm.
They will only do 7 damage.
Oh.
That's basically the way it works.
So your armor never wears down?
No, armor is like a passive stat, like how much damage they do. So
Right.
if you upgrade armor, they take less damage per attack.
So say you had 8 armor. A Marine couldn't damage you?
I don't know. Maybe. Because I know it would be very difficult to. I think, I don't think anything does 8 damage. I'm trying to think if there's a situation where you could have units that don't do damage. I know that when I was doing this experiment, I took a Mutalisk and had them attack 3 roaches, which all have 1 armor. Mm-hmm. And they, you know how the Mutalisk little thing bounces between 3 different units?
Yeah.
The roaches were regenerating faster than the damage would do to them. Like the second guy in the bounce.
Right.
Or maybe I had upgraded their armor. I don't remember. But
Well, it's something I'll look into then.
yeah, I'm kind of curious if my tests worked out right. There's a custom map that I would recommend playing called the Unit Test Map that you can play on Battle.net, I guess. You download it through there, and it's really kind of interesting to do, just experiment with the different units and how they match up, and really read into how much damage they do against each other. At least I found it really helpful to really learn what units are effective against what type out of the fast pace of the battlefield.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it seems like, if I just get an army of anything, it'll do good. But there's definitely some things that destroy other things in like 2 seconds,
Yes.
and some things that never destroy other things.
Exactly. That's
So it's
absolutely
definitely
true.
good to learn. You get a feeling for some of that throughout this campaign, especially since...
Well, they keep it simple. Like, they match you up. Like, what is it? I think the mission after this, the one that you said you're doing next, the one, what is it?
with the Hellions and the...
Yeah, Outbreak. When you have a whole bunch of Hellions, which are very effective against light units. And if you upgrade their flamethrower, I think, what is their damage? I think they do 8 damage per hit against normal units, and then 14 damage per hit
We're almost done,
against
Commander.
light units,
Another
and then you can
convoy will be
upgrade
starting
one of their
out today.
upgrades at the add-on for the factory. I don't know if it's on that mission, but in normal multiplayer, it adds an additional 10 damage per hit versus light units, so they end up doing 24 damage per hit
So
against
it
light
just
units.
destroys Zerglings.
It destroys Zerglings, it destroys Marines, Zealots are light units. So Hellions are very effective early on in the game, or early on in a
Multiplayer.
multiplayer game against Protoss. If they're doing a lot of Zealots early on. And Hellions cost no gas.
Just
too.
$100.
They're $100. They're the same cost as a Zealot, though the factory does cost gas
That's
to
true.
make. So early on in the game, it's not super easy to get.
Yeah, I really like how the campaign kind of does 1 unit a mission. Kind of lets you learn it.
Teaches you.
It lets you see what it destroys.
Mhm.
And then it's
And then
really
towards the
nice.
end, it meshes it all together and
Right.
says, okay, you have a base, you have everything that you want. You need to not just spam 1 unit type to take out the level. You need to create a diverse army,
Yeah.
as if it was multiplayer.
Yes. So I think it takes 5 convoys to make it.
Yeah.
There's the Nidus Worm. You should take that out because it'll just keep pumping out dudes. I don't know, those things are freaking annoying.
They are. They're very annoying. They're fun. They're fun to put in people's bases in multiplayer, though, if you can pull it off.
Yeah. I haven't had one show up in my base yet
Really.
in multiplayer.
I used to use Zerg for a while. Now I'm just doing random because I like mixing it up. But when I was doing the practice league stuff, I could pull something like that off, where the overlords, after you get the lair, you can have them drop creep.
Yeah.
So you build the Nidus Worm in your base, fly an overlord just into a remote corner of their bunkered-in base, then have the overlord drop creep, and then you can put the Nidus Worm right in the back of their base.
Yeah.
Like,
that's, yeah.
yeah.
Put some spore crawlers right next to it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. That'd be really smart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Convoy, let's rock! Bring it!
That's the last of them. Go. Lift off now.
We've lost the colony.